Do you hear everyone talk about how important a credit score is, but you really don't have an idea of what it is? Well, in this video here, I'm going to be breaking down what it is, why you should care about it, and the 7 steps that you can do to improve your credit score today. Now, these strategies are designed for Canadians, however, the same principles do apply for the US. Now make sure you watch all 7 steps, and especially number 3, as this is the most important step you can take to achieve your credit score of 900. What is a credit score? A credit score is essentially a report card of how well you handle your debt, as well as how risky it is for lenders to lend you money. If you have a good credit score, you're more likely to get approved for any loans that you apply to, as well as get a better interest rate for any mortgages or loans that you take out. Now, the credit score range is between 300 and 900 in Canada and 300 to 850 in the US. So what is a good credit score? Well, different institutions have different views. However, the general consensus, as you see here, is that if you have a credit score of above 700, it is typically considered good, and therefore you're more likely to qualify for any loans, mortgages, or credit cards you apply for. On the flip side of that, if you have a credit score less than 600, you're considered to be higher risk, and therefore you're less likely to get any of the mortgages, credit cards, or loans you apply for. And if you do get them, they're going to be at a higher interest rate, costing you more money. Having a high credit score is extremely important, but it does take some time to build. So now I'm going to be taking a look under the hood of exactly what makes up your credit score and 7 steps you can start implementing today to help improve your credit score to hopefully eventually 900. Step number 1 is to check your credit score, as the first step in solving any problem is realizing that there is one. Now in Canada, there's 2 credit bureaus you can use to check your credit score. Now both of these will calculate your credit score slightly differently, and I'll touch on that in a moment of how that affects you. However, in Canada, they are TransUnion and Equifax. Now, you could request to check your credit score with both of these directly. However, it will cost you a fee, so therefore I would recommend you use either Borrowell or Credit Karma instead. Credit Karma uses TransUnion, where Borrowell uses Equifax. Now, you're not going to know which the lender uses, so I'd suggest that you check both of your credit scores on both of these sites so you're aware of what the possible outcomes could be. Now, on these sites, you're going to notice your credit score, a graph of your credit score over time, as well as your credit report. Now, it's extremely important that you pay close attention to your credit report at least semi-annually, as mistakes could pop up and therefore negatively affect your credit score for no reason. Now, you might be worried because you sometimes hear that checking your credit score could damage your credit score, and the reason why that is because of hard inquiries. When you use either Borrowell or Credit Karma, this is considered a soft inquiry and therefore will not really affect your credit score. Now, both Borrowell and Credit Karma are completely free, as they make their money from suggesting any mortgages or credit cards that you may apply for. Step number 2 is to stop using cash and start using credit cards, as when you spend money with debit or cash, you're simply spending money, and this doesn't help you at all build your credit score. Now, when you use your credit card to make a purchase and you pay that bill on time in full every single month, you're working towards building up your credit score. And this makes sense, as when you're using your credit score, you're effectively using borrowed money. And each time you pay your bill on time and in full, you're showing to lenders that you're credible for the debt you take out. Plus, if you spend $10,000 in cash, that's just $10,000 you've spent in money. However, if you use a credit card, you could reap some of the benefits. And a typical 2 to 4% cashback means if you spent $10,000 on a credit card that had 2 to 4% cashback, you could be making back $200 and $400 of free money. Now, I do have to give a big warning to watch what you spend, as the benefit with cash is you can only spend what you have. However, with a credit card, it's easy to max out your credit card and spend more than you have. So each month, you want to be making sure you're tracking your financials and only spending the amount of money you have. My mindset when I'm using my credit card is similar to a debit card. If I don't have the money in my bank account, I simply don't buy it with my credit card. If you're new to Canada or never have had a credit card, then you may have to sign up for or a secured credit card. So essentially what this is a credit card that is backed up by a deposit. So as a simple example, let's say you apply for a credit card that has a $1,000 limit. You may be required to put either a $500 or $1,000 deposit onto that credit card in order for you to use it. As you use a secured credit card and you build up your trustworthiness, eventually you'll be able to just register for a regular credit card. And at that time, you can either choose to shut down this credit card and get your deposit back in full if you have proven that you are trustworthy with your debt. So now let's take a look at how exactly your credit score is calculated. Now keep in mind that Equifax and TransUnion will calculate your credit score slightly differently. So for this video, we'll be using Equifax's credit score. And as you see on the image that I took from Borrowell's website, this is exactly how the credit score is calculated. And as you can see, the biggest chunk that goes towards your credit score is your payment history. And this brings us to step number 3, which is to always pay your bills on time and in full. If you get nothing else from this video, make sure you drill this in your head. The best possible way to improve your credit score is to pay all your bills on time and in full each and every single month. This includes your car loan, your mortgage, your utilities, your phone bill, your credit card, your student loan. Make sure you're paying all these on time and at least, the very least, the minimum amount, if not the most amount you can pay. Now, if you're late in paying any of these bills, you're not only going to be hit with those massive late fees of even possibly 25% in interest, but it's also going to massively affect your credit score. Even if you miss only one single payment, that could negatively affect your credit score by 90 points. That is why it is extremely important to make sure you're always paying your bills on time and in full. This is also why it's extremely important why you check your credit report at least semi-annually, as if there is a single missed payment mistake on your credit report, not only can it drop your credit score by 90 points, but it will also affect your credit score for up to 6 years. So when it comes to your credit card, make sure you're paying your bills every single month on time and in full. Now, if it is impossible for you to pay your credit card bill in full, I'd highly encourage you to put as much money down on your credit card as you possibly can. And at the very bare minimum, ensure you're making the minimum payment each and every single month on time. If you pay the minimum payment, you'll still be slapped with those high interest fees that credit cards are known for. However, this won't negatively affect your credit score. The second best thing you can do to increase your credit score is decrease your credit utilization. Credit utilization is the percentage of credit you have used compared to the total credit you are allocated. So just because you have a $10,000 credit limit on your credit card doesn't mean you should be spending $10,000 on that credit card. In fact, if you want to optimize your credit score, you want to keep your credit utilization below 30%. So with that $10,000 credit card, you want to spend no more each month than $3,000. If you spend no more each month than $3,000, you can ensure that your credit utilization at any point in the month is below 30%. Now, of course, when you make that bill payment in full, you'll bring your credit utilization down to 0. However, each day that your credit utilization is over 30% can negatively affect your credit score. So one of the easiest ways to help fix this is simply by calling your bank and requesting a credit limit. Now, whenever your credit card company offers you to increase your credit limit, make sure you accept it. Don't take this credit increase as an invitation to spend more, but rather just an invitation to have more available credit to you, thus lowering your credit utilization score. If you're unable to increase your credit limit, another option for you is to open up multiple credit cards, as instead of having just one credit card with a high utilization, you could have 2 or 3 with a low utilization, and this will allow you to increase your credit score. And the third factor that makes up 15% of your credit score is your credit history. So the longer you have been able to hold onto credit, the more your credit score increases over time. Now, this one, obviously, you can't necessarily do anything about it today, except for start your credit history today so that in the future, you have a longer credit history. The one thing you can do to increase your credit history is to not cancel credit cards, as the credit card you opened 5 years ago weighs more into your credit score than the one you just opened yesterday. If you cancel that old credit card, you're gonna lose the benefits that has on your credit score. Plus, when you cancel that credit card, you're also decreasing your credit available and therefore increasing your credit utilization. And if you remember from our last tip, it is to always want to decrease our credit utilization. So basically, you should never cancel any old credit cards. So make a few purchases on every month to keep it active. Now, There is a caveat to this not canceling any credit cards, and that is if you cannot justify any annual fees that come associated with that credit card. And this is the only reason why you should be canceling an old credit card. Now, the next thing that affects your credit score is your credit mix. And essentially what this is showing that you have a mixture or a variety of different credit available to you. Now, this is far less important than the other three we have just touched on, but it's still affected in your credit score and something you should keep in mind. So instead of just having one credit card, it's good for your credit score to have multiple types of credit, like a car loan, a mortgage payment, a student loan, multiple credit cards, etc. As long as you're able to pay off those bills every single month. Also, having a variety of different bills due each month will also help. So these are any utility bills, phone bills, internet bills, etc. These all boost your credit score as you continuously pay them on time, as it shows you're more reliable with money. The final factor that affects your credit score and the final tip here today is credit inquiries. So if you remember back to step 1, we discussed the difference between soft inquiries and hard inquiries. Now, soft inquiries you can do all day, every day, and it will not really negatively affect your credit score. So this is every time you check on Borrowell or Credit Karma. However, when you do a hard inquiry, it can have a negative effect on your credit score if it happens too often. So hard inquiries occur when you apply for any credit cards, student loans, or mortgage loan. Now, you can make 1 or 2 hard inquiries each month, and that won't really affect your credit score in a negative way. However, if you make more than that, it could suggest that you're scrambling to find credit and therefore show that you're less reliable with the credit that you're currently available with. One thing to note, if you're buying a car or house soon, you're most likely going to be shopping around for different car loans or mortgages. And as a result, you can make all your hard inquiries in a 2-week span, and this will only count as 1 hard inquiry, therefore only affecting your credit score by 2 to maybe 5 points. So don't be afraid to shop around for loans to get the best rates, but be strategic with when you do apply and make sure it does fit in within that 2-week time frame. So I hope now you have a better understanding of what the credit score is, why it's important, and how you can improve your credit score and be on your way to a perfect credit score of 900 in Canada or 850 in the US. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like, and if you enjoy this type of content around finance, personal development, real estate investing, make sure to subscribe, as you're not going to miss out on any future videos I'll be posting here. So that's it from me. I hope you have a fantastic and successful week, and I'll talk to you soon.